was great the minute he stepped on the field in the NFL. He was Defensive Rookie of the Year. He was later NFL Defensive Player of the Year. He's the Baltimore Ravens all-time sack leader, which is not easy to do. Terrell Suggs, the two-time Super Bowl champ, joining us live. You know, I look at Baltimore right now, and Harbaugh's done a great job leaning in to what Lamar does. Also simultaneously elevating him. Lamar gets better every year. So you dealt with John on the defensive side, but I think when you have a wildly dynamic talent like Lamar, it's not only about like making him better, but kind of leaning into what he does. And sometimes Terrell, a coach, has to get uncomfortable and say, all right, I've never seen this. I'm going to lean into this. Give me some of the secret sauce of Harbaugh. What connected with you and your past history with him?
Well, I must say that at the beginning, there was a period of adjustment because we had kind of a reputation and we were kind of like the bad boys of the league, and he wanted to clean us up. You know what I mean? And we was like, whoa, you know, we only know one way to play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But through time, you know, he came to accept us for who we are, just like you said. You know, let me lean into this. Let me feed off this. This is who we are. You know what I mean? We were a physical, we were a rough team. You know what I mean? And once we accepted everybody's personalities, so to say, everything started clicking and we started winning a lot of games. So, yeah.
Yeah. I heard this from Ed Reed the other day, who's probably, you know, he or Ronnie Lott are the best safeties ever. So when Ed talks, people listen. And Ed said, something, and I didn't love it because I've heard this before from running quarterbacks. He said, you know, it's a business. You got to take care of yourself. And I think, timeout. When Kyler took care of himself in the playoff game and wouldn't run, it blew up the whole franchise. The whole offseason was a mess. And I'm like, I don't want Lamar thinking, hey, man, I'm not going to run. I'm like, no. Just do what you do. You will get paid. Even if he got hurt. He got hurt last year. I'd still pay him. I know it's a business per se, Terrell, but when I heard that from Ed Reed, I thought, I don't love that a player should be thinking about not getting hurt. How did it land for you?
I didn't like it either, but you know, like you said, when Ed Reed speaks, people are going to listen. You know what I mean? I don't think Lamar, if you think you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt. You can't play cautious, not in this game. You know, you can't be gun shy. He's got to play his game. But, you know, some of what Ed Reed did say was accurate. He does need to be smart. You know what I mean? Don't go and try to take on linebackers when you don't have to. You know what I mean? And I think Lamar's done a good job of adjusting his game. He's not playing cautious, you know what I'm saying? So I get what Ed Reed was trying to say, but, you know, you also got to understand the city of Baltimore, the fans, they really pour their heart into their team, into their players. And they'll sense if you being a little, it's my contract year, being a little shy and not really playing to, you know, your capabilities because you're in a contract year. You know, they'll feel that and you'll start to lose them, man. And I don't think, you know, Lamar got that kind of character to where he's going to be gun shy and play cautious. But Ozzie Newsome told me, Sizzle, if you think you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt. You can't be gun shy. Yeah. So I don't think it's going to change this game.
You played in the AFC forever for the Ravens and briefly for the Chiefs. So you don't have a lot of NFC stuff where Russell Wilson is.
No.
But it's funny about Russell Wilson. The other night, finally, in his third game, end of the game, he's like, okay, I'm just going to do me. I'm going to run around. I'm going to do me. And I said, I defended Russell. I said, listen, I think he's trying to run the offense that Nathaniel Hackett brought from Green Bay.
Exactly.
And then he finally said, hey, bro, I'm just going to do me. I don't think he's a shot fighter. A lot of people are telling me Russell Wilson's a shot fighter. What do you see?
I think he's definitely trying to make it work, you know what I'm saying, doing it their way. You know, when you first get into a new relationship, you're hiding your true selves from each other. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to, he's like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, you're playing nice, you know what I mean, so to say. But he's getting a lot of heat for it because, you know, we're not seeing all the high-flying touchdowns and everything. It's not what we expected early on. But, you know, we're 3 games in. Who knows, like, what's going to happen the rest of the season and the rest of his time there. So I think we just need to give, you know, Russell some time. He's been great in the league, you know, his whole career. So it's like right now it's just like, oh, Russell Wilson, he didn't deserve his contract. And it's like, it's early. We're 3 games in. Calm down.
For the record, there are now, due to Russell Wilson, you're getting quarterbacks who are at 5'11", 5'10", Kyler. Tua's not a real, and I think Russell's success has opened the door for other quarterbacks to get drafted. Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. A lot of these guys, I was told years ago from a player in the NFL who I have great respect for, he's still in the league, that he goes, hey, I can tell you, Kyler doesn't like to get hit. I've been on the field with him. And I look at Tua, and he's already banged up in week 3, and he got hit one time. Was it when you played a quarterback who maybe was a little smaller in stature, did you think, I can intimidate him more? Did you look at different quarterbacks when you prepared for a game differently based on size? Like Josh Allen, 6'6", can run around. You may be totally different. What do you make of Tua, his size, his injury history? Would it change how you play?
Like you said, Russell Wilson's kind of opened up the door for the smaller quarterback. But, we played in a different time. We were allowed to hit quarterbacks back in those days.
Right.
And if you got a good shot on one, you took it. And you definitely try to knock him out of the game, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And so you definitely try to open up on the smaller ones, especially if they're injury prone.
You were a teammate briefly with Patrick Mahomes, weren't you? Briefly?
Yeah, briefly.
Okay,
got a ring out of the deal.
Did you know? You knew first practice he was great, right? I mean, there was no question he was. Like, had you ever seen anything quite like it?
Not really. Like, it just seems like the game was really slow for him. Like, he could just really anticipate stuff. And, like, I was just like, when you're not on the team with him, you kind of like, oh, he's good. I wonder how much is it, like, scheme and personnel and Andy Reid. But then when I got on the team, and I was just like, oh, he's that deal. He's that deal. I remember when I first got there, Matthew Judon called me and was like, what's up, Sizzle? What's he really like? I was like, dude can play. Dude's really that deal. So it's not a myth. It's not fiction. The dude can play.
It is interesting. When I saw Eric Bieniemy and him kind of argue, Bieniemy's reputation is he's pretty intense. He's a pretty intense guy. Do you worry at all? Because last year there was in that playoff game with Cincinnati, Mark Schlereth told a story where they may have had a little bit of a battle. I don't remember it exactly. But do you? Patrick's pretty playful and fun and joyful guy, easy going, and Bieniemy, as you probably know now, is pretty intense guy. Do you worry about that relationship at all?
No, I don't worry about that at all. For the simple fact that they've had so much success together that they it's probably just you get into it with your coworkers sometimes. You know what I mean? And it's like we're all working towards the same thing. We're all trying to win. We could have a disagreement on the sideline, and it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? We'll go back to the film room, and you could be like, you know what, you were right in this situation, I was wrong, or vice versa. You know what I mean? I heard a quote recently, and it stuck with me. It said, always keep in mind when you're in a discussion with someone that the other person may be right. So just keep that in mind. So, but I think that there's nothing to worry about there. I think they're going to get back to winning. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's a big deal.
All right, Terrell Suggs. What a pleasure to see you. I watched you were one of the great, what did I say this morning in the meeting? You were the last great player Arizona State had. I love that you're bouncing around here on FS1 on the shows. You had an absolutely legendary career, and thanks for coming on my show today. I'd love to have you on again.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, Colin. Anytime.
All right, Terrell Suggs, who was a great football player. First year in the league, it was like, boom. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.